92.7 WOBM. Good morning. Shawn Michaels with you. Joining me right now, we're going to be talking about how to get yourself motivated, get yourself inspired to feel good and to feel good about yourself. Susan Boddicker, she founded One Girl Wellness. She joins us to talk about how we can do that and make ourselves even better. So this is good stuff. Susan, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's talk about it. When we think about body image, when we talk about the way we think about food and our bodies and ourselves, how do we go about changing that? I guess that's where we start. How do we begin to change the way we think about these things?
Well, I think the one thing you may want to start off with is asking yourself, is this story true? You know, we all tell ourselves stories, and we have images of ourselves that may or may not be rooted in reality. So when you look at yourself and you start to say, oh, I look fat in this, or this, you know, I'm never going to look good enough or thin enough or pretty enough or whatever enough, you got to step back and say, is this a true story, or maybe this style just doesn't work for me?
Yeah. Do we perceive ourselves differently than others do? And a lot of times that gets us in trouble because we don't quite see what everybody else is seeing. So we come up with these concocted theories, but yet it may not be what people are thinking of.
That's true. I think that we tend to overthink how we appear in the world, and that makes us self-conscious and somewhat negative. I think there are social influences, obviously. There's the celebrity who has a perfect body 24 hours after having her baby. There's Photoshop. There are other fashion influences. But a lot of how we see ourselves begins at home.
Yeah.
And we internalize and begin to believe what our parents tell us.
A new book out. It's called, and this is the title, Fat Girl, How to Let Go of Your Weight and Get On with Your Life. How did you come about this title? How did you come about this being the subject of the book?
I think this was the book I had to write. I had been taking a course in integrative nutrition to become a health coach. And partway through, I had this vision of a little girl who needed help, and that little girl was me. And I was determined to help her, to be the friend to her that I never had when I was actually going through this experience.
So you battled weight as a young person?
I battled weight, but more importantly, I battled poor self-image.
Yeah.
Because I was told very early on, you don't need to eat this, you'll get fat. You've had enough, you'll get fat. You are fat, stop eating. And the food that I ate was very, very restricted. I would like to believe that, you know, my parents did have my best interest at heart, but the way it was communicated and the way I interpreted it was pretty toxic.
Yeah, yeah. You talk about finding more satisfying ways to nourish our bodies and our minds. What do you mean by that?
I think you have to live beyond the plate, but you have to start by loving yourself. Again, is this story true? Am I telling myself something that I don't really in my heart of hearts believe, but I am taking what other people say or what other visions are, external visions, and imposing them on myself. And so to live beyond the plate, you first say, who am I? What are my values? What is the life that I want to live? And stop thinking of food as one of those things that give your life meaning. It can be social, it can be creative, it can be a symbol of love if you're making food for somebody you care about. But it's not spackle. It's not going to fill the holes in your heart. It's not going to fill the holes in your life. So if you want to live beyond the plate, understand that food is fuel, not medicine.
Well, this is inspiring for many. How do you go about getting your book for folks who want to learn more about, you know, what you have to say about, you know, the social aspects and the mental and also the physical problems of weight?
Well, they can go to the site for the book, which is Susan-Boddicker, BODIKER.com, or they can visit my website, which is onegirlwellness.com. I try in the book to take a lighter tone. It's not your typical self-help book. There's not a lot of woe is me in there. I'm pretty snarky, but there are a lot of helpful links and sidebars with things you can do to empower yourself to live your best life.
Excellent. Is this a digital book? Folks download it and read?
Yes, it is an ebook.
Very good. Susan, last note. You get the last say here. What would you like to leave folks with?
There is so much more in life beyond food, and it never really is about the food. It's about your state of mind.
Excellent. Susan, thanks so much for taking time with us, and we wish you the best, and we'll have folks go to your website. We'll have details on our website as well.
Thank you so much, Sean, and thank you, listeners, for listening.
Take care. Susan, have a great day.
You too.
All
Bye.
right. Susan Boddicker, check it out. We'll have all that information online at WOBM.com.